Hello everybody! We're looking at glaze testing today and how to organize your life so that you don't get confused. It is very important for a potter to test their glazes, and if you don't do it right, it can sometimes be a little confusing. So I'm just going to show you how I do it, and then obviously you can adapt and make it your own. Add texture to my tiles just to see what the effects are of the glaze and how the glaze works, because sometimes on a flat surface it does not look the same if it's textured. So once the tiles are bisqued and ready to go, I put them in my grid format on a table. Let me show you how. It's pretty easy. If you've accidentally forgotten to put the names on the back of your tiles before you bisque them, don't put them on now in underglaze, because you'll be glazing and using oxides and using a lot of water to wipe things away. It'll just disappear. So don't confuse yourself. That's why I'll show you another way to do it with the grid system. So we're organized and ready to go. So I'm going to start with my copper. I want to put my oxides at the bottom of my glazes. I prefer the way it looks. I don't like it to run too much. So if you don't have your names on the back, a good way to not get confused is if I take one away. So I'm doing all of these copper ones. So I know it's 1, 2, 3. I had these teeny tiny little underglaze testers that I did a while ago. So I'm just going to put them there. So I know all of these that I'm doing in copper, because I don't have the names on the back, I know where they go when they're done. I need 3 more. 1, 2, 3. So there, I know exactly where they go when I need to return them. Here's an example of a textured tile that has been painted with copper oxide, and then it's been wiped away with a damp sponge, and then the copper has gone into the grooves. This is not my tile, it's just an example that we have here in the studio. So all the tiles I have here have actually already been glazed. They're just upside down. You know, once we've, for example, this is a tile that we need to do, then I'll just take it and put it back. So work systematically. Do the copper first, then the manganese, then the cobalt, then the iron, and for those as well, just so that you don't have to jump back and forth the whole time, because that is just annoying. If we're going to do glazes, let's go here. So we've got olive green at the top. I know I've got 1, 2, 3. There's 3 that I want olive green here. And over here, the little ones, there's one that's olive green over here. To make your life easier, just mix your glazes once and dip everything you need at the same time. So don't dip the first batch, leave it, and then later come back and do the single tile on this side over here. It's just a waste of time. Try and do things at the same time so you can clear space and make way for new glazes, because when you're doing so many tiles, it's a lot of mixing and it's messy, and keeping a station clean. Yeah, that's part of me in the hospitality industry coming out there. Keep your station clean. The cleaner it is, the easier it is to work. So there are all my glazes. They magically just got out of the kiln. A great example of confusion, if they weren't marked at the back, would be these two. This is pewter, and that is aubergine. They really do look similar, and I wouldn't have thought that this would be aubergine, but that's what it is. Luckily, it's written at the back. Obviously the manganese made it way more browner than what I thought it would. So that's a great example of write your name at the back. These came out quite cool. I like them. So looking at these, you'll see the cobalt, this is the one with the transparent on, and that is one that has no glaze on it. And look at the difference. I quite like this with this clay. What I also do is I sometimes will paint on the glazes with the oxides. So if we have a look here, I'll actually do a few brush strokes, and I'll also splash the paint on with a paintbrush. So I'll just like flick it on with a brush just to see what the effects are. Obviously the copper one came out quite a lot lighter than the others. So it's great to see some effects. So here I've got white and then I dipped it in just to see what the colors would be if they mixed. Double dipping is not always the best because it can crack if the glaze is too thick. So you must be very careful of that. But all in all, I'm quite pleased. There were a few failures, but that's usually what happens. Let me show you some of my failures. These ones. There was a glaze put on here, but it didn't actually come out. As you can see, it's cracking off. So this glaze obviously does not work, or I didn't mix it well enough, or something went wrong. But they were all put in the same kiln, so I don't know. Might be the consistency or the mixture of glaze, but it's gone all flaky. See, it's even on that one. Yeah, come off. So mistakes do happen, and that's why we test. So this glaze I'm not happy with. I'm going to have to, I don't know, work around it. I hope this has given you a little bit of insight into glaze testing and how it works. And you could possibly use my method, or maybe just figure out your own way and what works for you. But thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you soon. Bye.